Have you ever promised yourself you would only check your phone for 5 minutes, but suddenly an hour has passed? You probably blamed your lack of discipline. But what if I told you that your brain has been hijacked by the exact same psychological mechanism used in Las Vegas casinos? Welcome back to Dr. Behaviorism. Today, we are breaking down why your phone controls you and the behavioral science behind the slot machine effect. To understand why we cannot stop scrolling, we have to travel back to the mid-20th century to the laboratory of B.F. Skinner. Skinner placed a hungry pigeon inside an operant conditioning chamber. If the pigeon pecked a specific button, a mechanism would deliver a small piece of food. The food was the positive reinforcement. The pigeon quickly learned that pecking the button resulted in a reward. But Skinner discovered something fascinating. When you deliver the food is actually just as important as the food itself. Skinner called these rules schedules of reinforcement. Let's contrast two of them. First, the fixed ratio schedule. Imagine a vending machine. You put a coin in, you press a button, and you get a soda. It is highly predictable. Because it is predictable, the behavior is steady but relaxed. If the machine breaks and doesn't give you a soda, you stop trying almost immediately. You don't stand there pushing the button 500 times. But what happens if the reward becomes unpredictable? Enter the variable ratio schedule. In this scenario, the pigeon doesn't know when the food will drop. It might take 1 peck, it might take 5, or it might take 20. The reward is randomized. What does the pigeon do? It pecks the button frantically, continuously, without stopping. This is the slot machine effect. It creates the highest, most resistant rate of behavior known to behavioral science. And it is exactly how your digital world is engineered. Every time you swipe up on a reel, a TikTok, or a YouTube short, you are pulling the lever of a digital slot machine. The tech companies use a variable ratio schedule. Most videos are just okay. Some are boring. But eventually, boom. You get a video that is incredibly funny or interesting. You get a massive spike of dopamine. Because you never know when the next hit is coming, your operant behavior, the swiping, becomes rapid and incredibly difficult to extinguish. But it is not just social media. I have noticed this in my own life. Let me share a personal example. Have you ever found yourself mindlessly scrolling through the Amazon homepage, even when you have zero intention of buying anything? I have caught myself doing this. I am not looking for a specific item. Instead, my scrolling is maintained by the unpredictable possibility that an incredibly interesting product will suddenly appear. I am scrolling until I find a stimulus strong enough to trigger the operant behavior of making a purchase. The shopping feed is a massive variable ratio schedule. We often fall into the cognitive trap of mentalism. We tell ourselves, I am addicted, or I just have a weak personality. But radical behaviorism shows us the clinical truth. You do not have a weak mind. You are simply a biological organism responding perfectly to a highly optimized schedule of reinforcement. The environment was designed to evoke this exact response from you. So, how do we break this cycle? You cannot out-willpower a variable ratio schedule. You must change the environment. Eliminate the unpredictable visual reward. Turn your phone screen to grayscale to remove the bright colors that act as secondary reinforcers. Delete the shopping apps from your home screen to increase the response effort. You must disrupt the reinforcement schedule before it disrupts your life. Your behavior is always a function of your environment. If you want to master your actions, you must become the architect of your surroundings. Subscribe to Dr. Behaviorism to learn the real science of human action. What app is your biggest slot machine? Let me know in the comments. See you next Sunday.